For Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. Would one of the other commissioners mind sitting in? We do not have a quorum as as Chairwoman Shays absent, Commissioner Mankins is absent, and I don't see Commissioner Anderson. Thank you, Commissioner Boyle. Okay, we will start with number 1, communication number 2025-310. Matt Enruth, BSB County Attorney, requesting Council of Commissioners authorization for the County Attorney's Office to draft a new ordinance regulating the sale and distribution of medical and recreational marijuana in Butte-Silver County. County Attorney Enruth.
Chairwoman Thatcher tonight. And Commissioners, I've been working with Director Crane on this to make sure we can implement the ordinance through the new zoning regulations as well. Her and I have not had a chance to sit down and finish drafting out the language on that. Once that's complete, I'll bring it back to Judiciary. So that's the status of that current ordinance right now.
Okay, so we will continue to hold that, but just for the sake of it, I'll entertain a motion to hold it in abeyance.
Please.
I'll motion we hold it in abeyance.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there anything on the question? All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Number 2, communication number 2025-353. Lori Baker Patrick, BSB Treasurer, requesting Council of Commissioners direct the County Attorney to prepare a council resolution to be read upon and passed August 20th, 2025, authorizing the approval of the tax deed public auction and the sale of certain parcels that have been tax deeded and owned by the City County of Butte-Silver. Does anybody have any questions on this?
I just have an update.
Okay.
Chairwoman Thatcher, Commissioners, spoke with Lori Patrick Baker about this. We went through all the correct steps. She also just asked or put another communication on with regards to cash-only payments. So we worked through the the resolution process. We've updated the one from last year. She's just got to green light it, and it'll be good for you guys to take a look at.
County Attorney, could you just explain this timeline again? I'm just so confused. So the sale, I think, is August 20th.
Yes, the sale is happening August 20th, and then at that council meeting that evening will also be the time that you act on the resolution codifying the sale.
So that, I guess, is why I'm confused. So won't it be in Judiciary and we'd have to move it to full council for final approval in the following weeks, or will this be to us to send to full council?
This will be to you by August 6th to move to full council.
Perfect.
For the 20th. Yes.
Okay, that's where I was confused. Okay, so with that, though, we'll continue to hold this. Is that correct, County Attorney Enruth?
Yes.
Okay. So, Commissioner Callahan.
Thank you, Chairman Thatcher. Could you explain cash only mean? Could you explain cash only so somebody that's behind on their taxes,
Yes.
County Attorney Enruth.
do they have to come up with, say, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 in cash? How does that work?
Without Director Lori Patrick Baker being here, my understanding of this particular resolution and the cash only is for the sale of the property. It's not for paying your taxes back. You can pay your taxes back in any way that they allow you to upstairs. The problem that they were having with these tax sales was there's a very old ordinance that's on our books that was allowing people to make payments. And what they would do is they would come in and they'd make the first, I believe it was like 33 1/3% payment, and then they'd never make the other two, and then she'd be forced, or the county attorney's office would be forced to start the foreclosure proceeding on the property, and it created a substantial headache. So that's where the cash only comes in, and I believe that's on the other communication that's for council tonight. But that's how that works. But yes, no, you can, my understanding is she's very, very good about trying to get people caught up on their taxes so they don't lose their homes to these types of sales.
Commissioner O'Neill, do you have a quick question?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just curious on the, is that, you probably answered and I wasn't paying attention, so I'm sorry. Is on the sale of it though, just cash for the sale?
Cash only in full.
So follow
Commissioner O'Neill.
Cashier's check or cash?
Cashier's check or cash.
Thank you. Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
And for everybody's information, I think there's like 2 properties that are probably gonna make the auction. Yeah.
Are there any other questions on number 2? Commissioner Callahan or somebody make a motion to hold in abeyance.
I will motion that we hold the communication 2025-353 in abeyance.
All those in favor? Aye. Against? Motion passes 4-0. Number 3, communication number 2025-374, Trudy Healy, Commissioner District 8, requesting Council of Commissioners to look into concerns regarding urban camping on public streets and refer this matter to Judiciary Committee and County Attorney Enruth to develop an ordinance to address this matter. Commissioner Healy.
Thank you. So I put in front of you, this is just to start a conversation. I'm not saying this is what we do. It's just to have an example as to how we can begin the conversation as to what is being asked. These 2 gentlemen over here are the ones who came to me about this, creating this communication, because they are living in the worst of times in their neighborhood. So they're here to maybe ask questions or to speak, because of course they have firsthand knowledge of what it's like to live with the criminals. We're not talking about the homeless per se, because the homeless go to the shelter, they use what's out there, Action Inc., food stamps, to survive. These are more of the criminality transients who are overtaking our neighborhoods. And so, did you guys want to, say anything?
If you wouldn't mind stating your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name's James Madison. James Madison, 116 West Silver Street. And it's not so much this summer, but last summer, we probably had 5 people camped out at Emma Park, living in their vehicles. So, no sanitary conditions, garbage, trash, and they conduct business. Their business hours are from about 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. when most people are trying to sleep. So, and a group of them had some calls for each other, hooping calls. So just imagine that at about 3 in the morning. They're out there hooping to try to come to the camp or whatever. But witnessed several times people camped out there, get out of their vehicle, and defecate right there on the spot. So last time it happened, it was still steaming. Police show up and run the whole group out. So that kind of did it for them. I'm not saying it has to be banned everywhere, but maybe the first step is to figure out how much land Butte-Silver owns that might accommodate some of these folks, so it decreases the chances of conflict with neighbors, businesses, whatsoever. I mean, I see in our neighborhood there's Airbnb, and right there's 2 people that are car camped. Well, how would you like to be the person from out of town that pulls up to the Airbnb and here's some car campers that are doing their business right on the street, and you know what I mean? I mean, what kind of example does that set for Butte? And then Silver Street is a school bus route and some kind of designated route to Butte High that I think the county receives money for plowing and maintenance and things like that. So, I mean, I think there's areas where you want to look at, it's like, no, you can't camp, you can't park a trailer or whatever there. These places are out for sure. Around schools, designated routes, in front of people's houses, across the street from people's houses, those sorts of things. I don't know what these people are, I don't know their story. I'm sure some of them are having a bad go of it, but there still needs to be some rules. Just because they're homeless or whatever their situation is, doesn't give them carte blanche just to come in and just do whatever the heck they want to do. So that's my take on it, is that Butte-Silver Bow it's one of the richest land counties in Montana. Certainly we can find some places where if you want to car camp or whatever you want to do, here's a spot. But then I just see that's a whole nother can of worms, because there's criminals in these bunches that prey on the other people. I don't know how what you're gonna do there, you know? And you create these places, well, you better just put the dumpsters out there and assign somebody to keep them clean. Because you're either gonna pay for it as you go, or you're gonna pay for it when you kick them all out. I'd rather just do it up front, keep the place clean. And try not to promote homelessness by just giving them a place to live full-time. And I know Action Inc. has that worry too. Not that I'm speaking for Action Inc., but you don't want to keep a person homeless like they do at some shelters, where it's like people have been there 3-4 years. It's like, no, that's what the homeless shelter's not for. That it's a temporary place to get them moving again, you know. So those are just some of my thoughts. We all want to live in a safe, clean environment, and when people can pull a trailer up and park it wherever they like, I don't think that's a safe, clean environment. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Madison. Sir, did you have anything else you'd like to add? Okay. Are you good? Okay. County Attorney Unruth, do you have some thoughts on this?
Yes, Chairwoman Thatcher. So it's a complicated topic. I believe the gentleman actually said it the best, is if the council determines, and this body determines, that there is a plot of land in Butte suitable for people to urban camp on, we're moving the problem from one area to another. Then the next question becomes is who's going to do the cleanup? What department? And we're not talking about just cleanup after a folk fest. We're talking about, you know, human feces, needles, all kinds of stuff like that. And then we're also talking about how do we determine who is a criminal and who is just simply homeless, or who is a homeless person suffering from, you know, some mental health problems that simply isn't going to be able to actually hold down a job anymore. Again, it's a much more complicated topic, in my opinion, than what the cities of Bozeman and Missoula thought. I mean, obviously their hearts were in the right places. They decided that we want to do this, we want to address this, and we want to help people. But again, we've seen the repercussions of that firsthand. I went to college in Bozeman, and I'm absolutely blown away by driving down some of the streets, and they're literally, I mean, they're campsites. I mean, they're on the street. They have solar panels set up. You know, these people they're living there. The root problem with all of this is two things, in my opinion. It's the homelessness that is associated with either mental health or drug use. That somehow has to be addressed in either the ordinance or through other ordinances or other actions, in addition to passing an ordinance or possibly revamping the ordinance that we have, in order to have some kind of effect that is good without the detrimental effects of you know, moving everybody to one single place and just saying everybody can camp here, or you can urban camp here, it's not a problem, and it's just trashed all the time. It's a simple fact of the matter. So that's why I agree with Commissioner Healy that we need to have several conversations regarding the ordinance, what we want the ordinance to look like, and bounce the ideas back and forth off of each other of what we think's going to work, what someone's, thinks that isn't going to work, the pros and cons of that. I mean, right now, we technically have an ordinance in place that prohibits camping in parks. Do we need to reevaluate that ordinance? Are we specifically talking about people being able to park their camp trailers anywhere they want without a permit? I think that aspect of this discussion could actually be addressed in the ordinance. That you can't simply park a camper on a public street and urban camp in it. Now again, that also has repercussions though. We, as Buttonians, or whatever you want to call us, we love to camp. And I can tell you there isn't a street in this city that you drive down right now that doesn't have 3 campers parked in the street that are owned by the individuals' homes they're in front of. So this also could relate to even a bigger parking issue that the city of Butte has is being able to park, in front of anybody's home. Maybe we can carve out some certain exceptions that you can have a camp trailer in front of your private residence, but if you don't own the residence, you can't put a camp trailer there. Those are some ideas that I've been rattling around in my head that may be able to address some of these problems, not maybe necessarily all of them, such as the park camping, but also to move things along. So that's why I would open it up to the commissioners for any ideas that anybody has, because I'm here to hear them all.
Commissioner Callahan? I don't know. Your mic's not on.
Oh.
There you go.
Thank you, Chairman Thatcher. I guess the last comment on the trailers on the street. We already have an ordinance. Unfortunately, it hasn't been enforced for quite some time now, and it's kind of like the broken window theory. This one down the street's been getting away with it. We've been paying for rental to put our camp trailer in some place. They don't get any tickets, they don't do anything. So that's what's created all these people's camp trailers and other trailers, boat trailers, flat trailers, you name the kind of trailer. And because of lack enforcement of our own ordinances, this has created the problem we got. And I think those are things we still need to address. We don't have to change that ordinance, we just have to enforce them. Living on the street, these people that all these folks are having problems with are not homeless people. They've been through the system. They've been Action Inc., all these different outfits that have taken care of them. They feed them on a regular basis. They come around and give them medical attention. These people are criminals, and we cannot continue to kick the can down the road. We have to be proactive and move in a certain direction to find a way to fix it. I believe we can certainly find a lot of lessons between what Missoula and Bozeman have done. They admit they've made mistakes, and so we don't want to make those mistakes over. But I think we can sit down, we can figure out a way. First of all, we got to quit confusing these people that are being the problem as homeless people. These people are criminals. I went last night, I think there was 8 different fire departments that had a shuttle training. So I went down to see how it ran, and seeing we're going to have such a serious fire season, I wanted to see how it works and how everybody worked together. They've been called out to Bluebird Lane out in Ramsey over and over and over, and they're all complaining they don't even want to go out there because they're burning their camp trailers, they're burning their motorhomes out there. There's so much trash, there's needles all over, they're scared to death to go out and fight a fire. These are issues that we have to address. We got to be proactive. You get a fire here, a week later you got another fire, a week later you got another fire. We haven't even dealt with the first fire that was 2 weeks ago. Well, so these are things that we have ordinances that we can fix, but we're not doing it. So I believe we got to start there, and then we can build from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Callan. I do think that this obviously, and Commissioner Healy, this is a very complex issue that will probably take several meetings for us to discuss. I do appreciate you bringing this forward. If you wouldn't mind, would you send this to the commissioners that aren't here on Judiciary tonight? So, perfect, to Commissioner Shea, Mankins, and Anderson. But did you have something else to add to this, or is it something that you want to just continue the discussion, over a couple weeks' time. I know it's so hard in judiciary because we're so limited on time, but if you have something else you'd like to add, feel free. Go ahead.
I think the easiest part is, like Mr. Madison was talking about, we know where we don't want them, and maybe we could start with that because that's easier. You know, people don't want them parked in front of their house. I was hoping Anessa could come tonight and talk about the attempted kidnapping of her daughter, but she is going to speak, or maybe on the news even. So we know we don't want them in our parks because both her grandson and her granddaughter, he was choked and he was told that I'm going to take your sister. So we know we don't want them in the parks. So I think it's easier to say where we don't want them. We don't want them parked in front of churches. We don't want them parked at schools. So maybe if we started with the easier part and say, okay, we know this is what we do want. And that's part of what's in the Bozeman ordinance. And again, that was just something so we can have an idea on what they were trying to do and try to perfect it, you know. But I think it's fair to say, like Mr. Madison, you know, stated, that we know where we don't want them, and maybe we can start with that.
Sure, I appreciate that. As I said, this will be something that we'll discuss heavily over the next couple of weeks. So in the interest of time, would you like to make a motion maybe to hold it in abeyance so we can further the discussion?
Thank you. Is there anyone? I'd like to hold this in abeyance for 2 weeks. Motion to hold this in abeyance.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there anything on the question? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Motion passes 4-0. Number 6, resolution number 2025-31, a resolution of intent to alter the boundaries of the city county of Butte-Silver, Montana Solid Waste Special District to include the boundaries of Homestake Meadows 2 subdivision and providing for an effective date herein. I have a quick question on this. And I don't know, I just caught it, so I apologize, but in the first whereas, it says section 1.2C of the city county of Butte-Silver, Montana's charter, but that refers to having to get the approval of the city of Walkerville. So I'm not sure why we have to do that. And I have it pulled up on my computer. It was just going to die, so I left it over there. But thank you.
Chairwoman Thatcher, Commissioners, I don't know. I am not part of the resolution. I haven't reviewed the resolution. It was brought forth by, now I can't even remember who submitted it. But we're waiting for the public hearing on it. That's why it's sitting in Judiciary. In order to get, Walkerville, we shouldn't have to get Walkerville's permission. They're not part of it. It would be the same with the fire redistricting and stuff like that. So I'll take a look at it. I'll make a note on it and figure out what's going on there.
Thank you, County Attorney Antner. Director Neary, did you have something to add?
Yes, Chairman Thatcher. I'm sure that was a template because Walkerville was the last one that we adopted, and I'm sure it's probably just a misprint. It
Okay.
is for Homestake Meadows.
That makes sense. If they're adopted into it, then yes.
Okay, so I thought, did we have the public hearing on this, or is that? Yes. Yeah, so we're not waiting on a public hearing, but in the interest, should I hold it to be amended, or should maybe Commissioner Morgan wants to weigh in, should I refer it to, what would be the best place to go here, since there are some things that need to be corrected in it?
Thank you, Commissioner Thatcher. I guess the question that I would have is there a timing issue because this would move to the next reading tonight, but if there's a timing thing, we might have to do something different?
And I believe it would move to final reading tonight, and then it'd be final reading in 2 weeks as it is, as we're off of a week. So maybe you, Director Neary, is this a timing issue, or?
I believe it was put on the agenda or on the end of the Judiciary for a timing concern, so we can get it on the tax or on the fee schedule by November.
Commissioner Morgan.
So Commissioner Thatcher, I would, and then unless County Attorney Enruth disagrees with me, but you could move it to the final reading, and then it could be amended on the floor before the final adoption of the resolution by line item. It's a little bit of a longer process to do it, but it can be done, is my understanding.
County Attorney Enruth?
I was just going to say, I believe we can probably amend it on the floor to stay on the time frame.
Okay, so then this one, we will make a motion to move to final reading, and then next week, or in 2 weeks, we will have to amend it.
I will make a motion that we move resolution number 202531 to final reading.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there anything on the question? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Motion passes 4-0. There are a couple claims on the agenda tonight, if commissioners would like to take a look. One's in the amount of $600 to Ryan Obenhoff, a demo refund, another $460 to Ryan Obenhoff, a building permit and excavation permit, Lockmer Plumbing for $76.50. The owners canceled the jobs. Ray's Heating and Sheet Metal, $1,000. 3307 Bush Street, old garage demo. Mark Supinich, I believe, $400. Dismantling of Praxis Building. Dylan Matthews, $400. 407 Virginia Street, Butte. Demo of hazardous structure, and Chad Farragon, $400, demo of old garage on Richardson Street. If there are no questions, I'd entertain a motion on those as well. Nope.
I will motion that we approve the refunds as listed.
A motion's been made and seconded. Is there anything on the question? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Motion passes 4-0. If there are no other questions or concerns, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? We are adjourned.